Hello.
Hello.
And welcome to See If It Sticks.
That was terrible.
I know. We'll try another one on Monday.
All right.
I'm sure that'll be better.
Someone's dog is going ape shit.
There are cats at the window. This is the podcast that solves your first world problems. Like, if the Clash had come to us and asked whether they should stay or go, we would have told them to go.
Would we?
Right? Yeah, we would. Would you not think they would have gone?
Well, because
They should have gone.
if they stay,
I think
there
they
will
were
be
just-
trouble. But if they go, there will be double.
I thought it was if they go, there will be trouble. And if they stay, there will be double.
Yes, if they stay, it will be double. Yeah.
Yeah. So, in that theory, we would...
In the cost-benefit analysis of that song, they should go.
They
think-
come to us,
I
They
think
need a
we'd
risk
have said that.
assessment.
I think they were calling our bluff anyway.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's like, it's like a TV sitcom. They're like, I'm going to go. It's like when you're a kid.
I'm like, yeah, I'm leaving.
You're a kid and you pack your bags. I'm out of here.
Then you just go
I'm going to live down the end of the garden.
Yeah.
You're not really going then, are you, Dan, you twat? Oh, I had
hang
such
on.
a troubled childhood.
I'm Ross.
I am Dan.
I'm Tom.
I'm Dean.
Special guest this week.
Hey!
Flown him all the way in from Borton.
Yes, on our tiny little quadcopter.
Yeah. I dragged him here with my drone.
Pretty much, he would have walked here with the quadcopter under his arms.
Yeah. Just made his hair nice and flowy.
Yeah. Windswept.
Maybe he's born with it.
Correspondence.
We have some it's actually not so much correspondence. I'm sort of just correcting myself.
I
Okay.
always thought we've missed out on a name there. Correspondence.
First Dom's.
Well, because within the correspondence, you've got Don Plaints.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I know we could have just called it correspondence.
Whatever happened to? Oh no, it's not Dan Mail. It's correspondence.
Dan Mao is one of the thing,
Dan Mao,
and Ross Gilbert's correction erection.
Yeah.
Well, Ross
Complaints.
Nothing rhymes with
Ross is
Ross
gonna,
and Gilbert.
Ross Gilbert is going to have an erection this week.
Am I?
And Dean
More so than,
Robinson's
more so
unfounded
than usual.
accusations.
Because this was just something the other day that, one of my favourite kind of like facts to blurt out, anyone who's listened to the podcast
About
a
your
little
massive
before,
dick.
is that my love for the plural of octopus.
Yeah.
Yes.
And do you remember
Pie?
my whole thing?
Octopode.
Ah.
Well, colour me a little bit wrong.
Yeah.
Well, because I watched a little video the other
A little
day.
bit wrong or completely
Right,
wrong?
because I've only ever seen it written down, right? And I'll spell it out for you. Octopodes.
Octopodes.
Yeah.
Octopodes.
Oh, no. I actually heard someone say it the other day. It is the correct plural, but it's octopodes.
Wow.
No, it's not.
It's
What a
octopodes.
Who
great
said it?
word.
Yeah,
And
unless
where?
it's Edinburgh, it doesn't count.
It was on the Webster's Dictionary YouTube channel.
There must be an American.
That's American then.
Yeah,
Which is
okay.
Webster's. Let's go to the Oxford Dictionary YouTube channel.
Okay, should I?
Octop-
Words would be
Octopodes.
aluminum.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's all explained as well. You'll be pleased to know.
That's amazing.
I'll just give you this.
But I was watching the thing and you said you should never criticize someone from pronouncing something wrong because that means they learnt the word by reading it.
Yes.
You should never criticize
Yeah.
someone for reading.
Here you go. Here's my little fact for you.
Hi, welcome to Ask the Editor. I'm Corey Stanford.
We covered the
assistant
Americanism.
editor here at Merriam-Webster.
Oh, do we?
So let's say you're swimming in the ocean and you see some 8-legged cephalopods. You say to your friend, "Hey, I saw a group of octopuses." And your friend says, "Hey, you're an ignorant slob. You saw a group of octopi." So is it octopuses or octopi? Well, octopus first showed up in the English language in the mid-1700s, and it was given a standard English plural, octopuses. That's easy, right? No, of course it's not. Because there was a grammatical movement afoot at the time to make English less irregular by making it more like Latin, which is nice and even and predictable. So these grammarians took a bunch of the Latin-based words in English that end with US, like octopus, and gave them proper classical Latin plural endings. Enter octopi, the correct plural of octopus. There's one problem. Octopus isn't Latin. It's, in fact, ultimately from Greek. But that's okay. Some smarter grammarians figured this out and gave the plural of octopus the Greek ending it needed, and hence we have octopodes, which is pretty rare and appears only in British
Sounds like a
English.
dinosaur.
Appears only in
They
British
all forgot
English.
one thing. Whenever a word from a foreign language enters English, it becomes an English word and gets inflected just like other English words. So octopuses was just fine. Well, what does this mean for you? If you say octopuses, you can continue to do so without fearing you're an ignorant slob. If you say octopi, you can continue to do so, but realize you have no grounds to tell the people who say octopuses that they are ignorant slobs. And if you say octopodes, you'd better be prepared to deliver this spiel at a moment's notice.
So that goes to show the English language is a complete fuck up.
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
why I
It's
never
make it
go
up
too
still.
upset about people's use of language, because language is an ever evolving thing, as I was told by a linguistics professor in my first year.
Yeah.
And what people would consider street slang or anything like that is perfectly valid language because it works.
As soon as it enters the vernacular,
Lexicon, it's fine.
it's like how like selfie, was like word of the year a couple of years ago, and like all sorts of like those slang words. Like chav is in the dictionary.
It's an ever evolving situation.
If you can say it and
We don't all
many
speak-
others understand it, then it's a word, isn't
Yeah.
it?
It's like when your grandparents go, speak the Queen's English. And I go, well, why don't you speak Chaucer's English? Like, why don't you speak Middle
Yeah.
English? 2 men went 10 into a pub.
Well, I
know?
actually was reading the other day that it would be more sort of like Shakespeare's English would be more kind of almost northerny, sort of American sounding.
Yeah, because
Like-
the American accent and inflection is actually a throwback to older English
Just where the two languages
modalities.
split.
Yeah.
So when you read things like
That's very interesting.
pub and like ye oldie, it's because they spoke like the oldie,
Like Southern Americans.
the old.
A bit of a droll.
I would love to know, because like in like sitcoms or movies and stuff, like Renaissance fairs, they seem to be everywhere. Like,
And they always talk like
Yeah.
this. Yeah, no,
Is that an actual
absolutely
thing
not.
that goes
No.
on?
It's more
Renaissance fairs are a thing that goes on.
Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, big stuff.
I also, if you are in the States at any point, I cannot recommend enough going to what's that night thing that they do there?
Oh, medieval times.
Medieval times.
Oh, medieval times.
So good.
Dinner theatre.
Basically, you go.
the cable guy.
Yeah. Exactly like that. You fucking sit down. They give you like food, like chicken and that without knives and forks. You eat it with your
I've always wanted to
hands.
meet a massive thing of meat on the bone.
Yeah,
Just go to Disneyland, man.
You get that.
You get a turkey leg.
They do
It's like
a-
a
I heard
dinosaur
about
leg.
that. Yeah.
They do a whole they do a joust
into a
and
hand.
sword fighting.
So dry.
Yeah,
So
just
good.
jousting, sword fighting,
Yeah.
and then someone's brought out the audience sometimes.
I don't think they did that, but the Red and the Blue Knight did come out afterwards to like meet people, and it's kind of like at the time. I mean, I suppose I was about 15 when we went to.
You thought it was pretty
Florida.
cool.
and I kind of thought, I was at that point where I was a bit like, this ain't cool, man.
Yeah.
Like, I think my brother was a little bit more invested in it. I can't really remember though because it was such a long time ago. But now I think back on it, like these are probably just like college students. They were probably so up on cocaine.
Or like really sad out of work
It's like,
actors.
oh god, another one.
Verily, madam! There's also another one called Arabian Nights in America where they do like 1,001
Oh, cool.
tales.
Really?
Yeah. That's in Florida as well. And there's a rodeo one where you can go and have dinner theatre at a room.
Such a weird culture where everything is a little bit fake.
That is pretty touristy though. Like
Yeah,
that area,
yeah,
like
yeah.
Orlando and stuff, is really tourist. It's touristy for Americans.
Like I went to a diner somewhere west near Devon, and it was all kitted out like an American diner, and it just felt really weird. Like it just felt so out of place, and it kind of felt like I was in like a Pulp Fiction scene. Like,
Amazing.
Is that because you were in leather at the time?
yeah, and I just pumped my girlfriend full of military grade heroin.
Yes, that is wallet with bad motherfucker written on it.
Yeah. My sister has only ever seen the Kill Bill films of Tarantino.
Really?
And I'm going to fix this. I'm going to kill my sister.
The one that says bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
And Kill Bill's not even his best work.
No,
really.
not at all.
absolutely.
No, absolutely not. It's good though. I do
I
enjoy Kill Bill.
enjoy Kill Bill for what it
When
is.
I was younger, I hated the ending of Kill Bill 2, but I watched it recently with her. Loved it.
It's a
Really
great
loved the
ending.
But when I was younger, I was like, oh shit, where's the action? Where's the fighting? But it's so...
It's such a good ending.
And we're watching more classic kick flicks.
Well, you talking the very end or just the ending scene?
yeah, like the...
the death of Bill.
yeah.
Well, the 5 finger
Yeah.
Palm Death
Yeah.
Trick.
I hated it as a kid. I hated it as a kid. But when I watched it as an adult, I'm like, man, that is,
I loved it as
But
a
the
kid.
thing is,
quite
the thing is,
poetic.
it's classic. Like
That's classic
it's
kung
like
fu movie.
Yeah.
Classic like third act. Like think of like anything that you enjoy from like childhood. Like think about like a James Bond film. Like the only three things that he points out in the car are the things that are going to ultimately come in handy, or like
the grenade pen.
like a Batman 66 episode. That one thing that comes in handy later on is always the thing which defeats them somehow.
Keep on going. I just need to go somewhere.
Okay,
I'm leaving for 5 minutes.
Dom's popping off. Okay, minor crisis, but we're down to 3
Yes.
now. So you've got a problem for us, Dean.
Yes, I do. So on Friday, I went to see the new Justice League film.
Yeah.
Loved it. But the second it ended, I was thinking, oh, what's the next film? And I think because there's such an embarrassment of riches with like pop culture or films or games to play, you can never really like savor what you've seen because you're always like, what's next? What's
On
next?
to the
What's
next thing. Yeah.
Even in a Netflix culture.
Well,
Not even within the DC Marvel universe, even within Netflix, you're like, you finish one program, what should we watch now?
I think
Yeah.
that is
Before you've
kind
even really taken that one in. and
Yeah, you
absorbed
can't.
it.
Because I remember when I was young, I finished reading one of the Harry Potters, and I just sat there for a good while, thinking that was incredible. I really, really enjoyed that. But now it's instantly, what's next?
what's next. Yeah.
More. Feed me more.
We have this, like Maddie and I, when my girlfriend and I watch TV or films or anything like that, we've got a list, as long as your arm, of things that we need to watch or people have recommended us. Like we've got films on there, we've got TV on there. And the thing is, like TV is like a big commitment sometimes. Like we sort of got really behind on loads of TV because we sat down and watched beginning to end Buffy and Angel, which is obviously not sort of a current thing. So while that was going on, we built up. But then there's all these things, current things that we watch, like things like The Walking Dead or, that those kind of things. People have recommended over and over again Stranger Things. So then we kind of actually relented and watched that. And then it's great. And then, just recently, like we're way behind on Walking Dead, even though I'm not particularly that fussed about it anymore. But we're trying to get through Stranger Things. We're also watching Modern Family. Like we've had no time to go to the cinema, and there's been like Thor's been out. Haven't had the chance to go see that. Maddie wanted to go see Mother. I want to go see Justice League. I never even got to the cinema to see Wonder Woman and Spider-Man, which are films which I really should go and see at the cinema. I've seen them now. But it's always just like, what's the next thing? As soon as we finish Stranger Things, we'll probably end up watching something else.
Yeah,
and then there's even the sort of the crap popcorn TV that we sort of get behind on, like Super Vet. I quite like sitting down on a Tuesday night and watching fucking Super Vet when I'm at Maddie's house. We catch up on the week before. And we haven't seen that for weeks.
Do you know how like Marvel and DC have got that kind of picture that they put out with what movies are coming and when, and it's got the big long list. You don't think it'd be a nice surprise if they just didn't have that and all of a sudden, bam, Batman movie, you'd be like, fuck Batman!
Yeah, man.
And then, another Iron Man comes out that you weren't expecting.
And
Everyone
also,
could be speculating, I think it's going to be
It also
Black Panther, I
feels
think
like
it's going to be this.
When I finally watched the film, it feels like I've been almost watching it for like a year beforehand because I'm like,
especially
set reports come
Batman
out and
versus Superman.
set pictures and TV spots. Like I try and avoid them, but I can't help myself. I've got to
Batman
watch it.
versus Superman was a film that I felt like I'd seen before I went to see it.
Yeah,
I saw so many clips of that film, even though it was god awfully long.
And god awful.
I didn't hate it as much as you did, but I just enjoyed Ben Affleck as Batman.
I feel like such a social outcast because I love that film.
No, I do like Ben Affleck as Batman. I like Batfleck, and a lot of the Batman stuff in that film was really good. It's just Superman's fucking shit.
Yeah, I'm bored of Superman now.
Without spoilers, and everyone knows that Superman's going to be in Justice League because he's in all the posters and stuff.
Yeah.
He is great in Justice League.
The thing is, it's like not my Superman. I don't like him all miserable and that. Superman's like a force of good. Like I like him being all happy, not all miserable and moody and sitting on a balcony like Lois Lane. Like, what are you doing out here, Clark?
The Superman
shit! I just revealed his identity.
Oh fuck! Spoilers. The Superman I know is the one from the TV series. He's my Superman.
Dean Cain.
Dean Cain.
Really?
He's my Superman. Yeah.
I think
mine will always be Chris Reeve.
Maddie and I talk about that. I love that show. So does Maddie. It is a great show.
George Clooney's my Batman.
Get the fuck out of here. No, you're older than me. If anything, Michael Keaton's your Batman more
That's
than...
what I meant. Sorry, that's who I meant. Sorry, I totally meant Michael Keaton.
Oh my
It was
God.
almost had to get lumped in.
Yeah, no, that's George Clooney. Fucking hell,
Jesus
no.
Christ, you just mistook George Clooney for Michael Keaton.
Yeah, no, sorry, Michael Keaton.
Someone should send that to his agent, though. Like, you know that, some like a Z-list podcast in the United Kingdom just mistook
Started
you for
slagging
one
you
of the most, like, handsome men in the world. Michael Keaton. I know he's getting a lot of work at the moment, but, that
I watched
he
him
might be
in
able to start selling coffee.
I watched him in The Founder the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant. He is crushing it at the moment.
He's doing really, really well. He was good in Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's very good in Spider-Man.
I wasn't expecting him to be that good. I thought it was just like another Marvel villain that you don't really care about. Great.
I think he was really great. His like big sort of like comeback piece was Birdman, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I really, really enjoy that film. He's fucking fantastic.
I had to watch it a couple of times because I was trying to see where the cuts were.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it?
I need to watch it again.
clever.
The first time I watched it, and it kind of happened to me, I guess, rather than me just enjoying it. And I need to watch it again and try and work out what the fuck's going on.
But yeah, like that's the nature of like with these big lists of all the comic films. Like I've been obsessed with comic books since I was 3. I learned to reading comics. And now it feels like
because of that, that's also the amount of vaginas Dean's seen.
But yeah, like watching these films, it feels like a tick box exercise.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
Done that. What's next?
Yeah, totally agree. And that's the same with TV. Like there's the problem is that there's such like an array of good TV and film sort of happening at the moment. There's been a real writers' renaissance in sort of like Hollywood.
Yeah,
that kind of it's gone from I guess in the 90s there was a lot of those sort of comedies which were really well written. But they were all in kind of the same vein, like things like that Jim Carrey was in, and like, you know what I mean? That everything was kind of vibe towards that. Now it's kind of like I feel like there's sort of like 3 sections to Hollywood. There's like the epic section, there's like this superhero sci-fi section, and then there's kind of this like, I don't know, like rubbish section.
Yeah.
Or I suppose also you've got like the art.
Anything Melissa McCarthy.
You kind of got the arty movies as well.
Yeah, because like I suppose no one goes out trying to make a bad film. Like whoever made the Ghostbusters movie, he didn't make that thinking I'm going to really fuck this up.
Yeah,
he must have known that it was a risk though, a heavy risk.
But I mean, all of those kind of like movies from that era. It's like I say, like it's almost like they're just barely kind of written. Like that, it's just producing films for the sake of sort of producing films. Like some of them really hit and some of them really miss.
It's almost like an algorithm, like screenwriting. Like, okay, so protagonist A will go into this situation, therefore antagonist B must do this.
It reminds me of like a game engine. The way that the films are written now, it's different characters, different bad guys, same story.
Yeah,
same kind of.
One thing that was really doing my head in with superhero movies is how many of them end with a pillar of light going up into the sky and doing something. Fantastic Four, Avengers, Suicide Squad. I said there's so many, but I can't think of any of it. Yeah.
Ghostbusters 1.
And yeah, it's like...
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Batman.
But yeah, how the hell can I go and watch a film and afterwards not... Because there's just so much... I don't know how to phrase this. So much distraction. There's just so much to get through that you feel like you just have to consume it all.
Yeah. I think it's, as I say...
society's pressure as well, I think.
Yeah.
Like the amount of people who said to you, watch Stranger Things. Why the fuck haven't you watched Stranger Things? And then you feel like, oh, I've got to watch it.
You're constantly bombarded with advertisement.
Yeah.
Like you just scroll through Facebook or whatever website you like, and in the corner, it's like, oh, you haven't watched The Punisher yet, have you? I did. It's amazing.
I haven't watched it yet.
It's just constant.
Exactly. We'll finish Stranger Things and we'll need to go on to The Punisher.
Yeah.
So all the other stuff that we're not watching at the moment, we'll just keep getting pushed back because, it's like a hierarchy.
And also, I feel like I have to watch it now because I don't want it to be spoiled.
Don't want it to be spoiled. Yeah, that's the thing. And, it's kind of like, there's like lots of angles here, isn't there? Like, say like, there's a lot of good stuff coming out. Like it's almost like you actually have to have written something good to punt stuff out at the moment.
I got really angry. I was because if it's like release week of a film that I want to see, I don't click on any links to articles about the movie.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what website it was, but it's in the in the headline it said spoiler X is in Justice League. And I was like, why wouldn't you hide that within the article? Why would you put that like bang front page?
Stupid, man. We've done spoilers before, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
Punishable by death, I believe.
I think I was on it.
We've kind of solved the spoiler problem.
But the spoiler problem in relation to feeling like you have to watch everything now.
Yeah, I mean
otherwise it's going to be ruined for
that
you.
is like an underlying issue, isn't it? That if I don't go and see Justice League now, eventually some of that will get spoiled for me.
Of course it will. I mean, and there is a certain amount of time, I think, as we discussed when we solved the problem, where it's after a certain amount of time, it's okay to kind of talk about it, really.
Yeah, it should be an embargo, yeah.
But you know what is interesting is that why it's almost like a trope now in a film that there's going to be something unexpected in there to spoil. Like when I think about watching Spider-Man Homecoming, which I watched recently, there's nothing in that which I could spoil for you because
just by kind of looking at the poster you can go, okay.
Do you know what I mean? Have you guys both seen it?
I've seen it, yeah.
Right, so I'm not going to go into too many like plot details, right? So you know that Spider-Man's in it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that Michael Keaton plays a villain called the Vulture.
Yep.
Right? Who's going to win that?
Yeah.
Right? I don't have to tell you the mechanism for that. And that's not a big spoiler. That's not like a big plot point of the film. No. Like there's not really any spoilers in that film.
No.
Spider-Man is in a film with a villain, right? Obviously, any Spider-Man film, Spider-Man's going to win. However Spider-Man wins. There's nothing about that film that I can spoil.
What about the Tony Stark stuff? Could you mention that and spoil some of those bits?
But he doesn't really do anything.
And he's in the trailer.
He's just he's in the trailer. You know he's going to turn up. You know that's going to be a mechanism to push the plot
and in
forward.
fact, the only things that you could spoil with modern comic movies are the things that reference the next movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, and what's that? Even at the end of a fucking Bond film, you used to get James Bond will be back in Octopussy.
Yeah.
It's just like the modern day equivalent of that, I suppose, isn't it? But yeah, so there are ways of doing this stuff without kind of spoiling it. I mean, like some of these films, when I think about the Star Wars films, like there are moments in them which are surprises, like say Rogue One, like towards the ending of end of Rogue One. That there's a scene there which is kind of like a bit of a surprise, but like that is not sort of
integral to the
plot because it runs on to the next film. So you know what the ending's going to be. You know how it's going to pan out. I mean, that was the kind of beautiful thing about Rogue One for me. And that's what I say. Like the writing,
it had to conclude.
The writing in Hollywood at the moment is fantastic because you know exactly how Rogue One's going to end because you've already seen the ending of that film.
Yeah.
You've already seen what happens immediately afterwards. So like, how do you make a film that everyone knows the ending to?
I'll be honest. A part of me was surprised that
the journey, Dan. The journey to get there.
And,
yeah.
If you haven't seen Rogue One by now, I don't know. Don't listen for.
Oh my god, I'm going to go home and watch Rogue One tonight.
I watched it the other
so
day.
Good.
Yeah.
And that wrote C2SO. What's his name?
K2SO.
Yeah, fantastic. But I really thought that they would all survive. Like, well, at least some of them survive.
You kind of feel like that, don't you? You feel like this is geared to a happy ending.
They just mowed them down. Like that end like montage of them all just getting fucked
but
up.
they can't connect. So then where were they in the next film?
Yeah.
But I mean that's a great piece of writing. But maybe Hollywood, as good as the writing is in Hollywood at the moment, like maybe they're too obsessed with these spoilers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they're not too obsessed with spoilers. Too obsessed with sort of like putting these big surprises in there.
So I think one thing is the way that comic movies are built is you have to wait for the end credits to get you hyped for the next film.
Yeah.
But that leaves you with less excitement for what you've just seen, because how can you be excited for what you've just seen if the film is angling you to be excited for something else?
Just like Fast and Furious, that is, Dan.
Yeah, like every time I see
cutscenes at the end.
Every time I see the end of one of those films, I get less excited for the next one.
I've only seen the
By the time I got to 17, I couldn't even be less excited for the next film. I just started hating humanity.
Do you think like the end of the Fast and Furious films is just going to be the Pixar film Cars?
I guess it could go that way, yeah, because it gets more farcical each time.
I did watch Cars 3. I really enjoyed that.
By the time they end the Fast and Furious films, the entire cast are going to be fucking dead because it's going to go on for about 70 years. And they're just going to be... all they're going to be doing is just CGIing all of them in there.
They're going to be doing drifts in those mobility scooters and
Amazing.
heists.
And I would still pay top dollar to go and see that.
I still see fucking Paul Walker quotes on the back of cars
stupid.
and shit like that. He didn't even say those things.
No.
His character in a film said those things, for fuck's sake.
And the other thing is, some of the quotes on some of them weren't even his character saying them. They were the Dominic Toretto lines.
I'm going to start quoting like other random dead people.
Yeah.
Like, on my car. Like,
With the wrong thing.
They've been in, like, yeah, just films that they've been in.
Carrie Fisher, do you feel lucky, punk?
No, like the same film, like like Alan Rickman, 1962 to 2016. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker!
Exactly.
It is the season, so I watched Die Hard.
Yeah.
The other day. What a Christmas film!
Well, maybe I should just start plucking like really insignificant quotes from these films, like Alan Rickman, ha 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 ha, Die Hard, 1985.
And then stick it on the back of your car.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's got nothing to do with your car either. No, I'm with you.
I miss Alan Rickman.
I'm with you on the Paul Walker quotes. They were ridiculous.
The what, sorry?
The Paul Walker quotes on the back of cars.
Oh, I thought you said the Porg quotes.
The Porg?
Yeah, the Porgs in the new Star Wars.
I don't know what they look like yet.
Are they like little bush rats?
Yeah.
Like a baby, like a baby otter.
They're the new Disney plush toy, are they?
They're the new Ewoks.
The new BB-8.
Yeah.
Oh,
The BB-8 was good.
BB-8 was very good.
Yeah, love
What
it.
a classic.
How do you know it was his thumb?
This fun because he was giving the thumbs up.
Yeah. He was doing it back to him.
How do you know it's not a middle finger?
Would have been.
He's only got
But
one.
he
He's
wasn't
only
that
got
kind of
one
guy.
finger.
He wasn't that kind of guy, was he?
Was he not?
No.
Really?
He wasn't a fuck you kind of guy, was he?
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, he might have been a
And also, it was like off of the British gas adverts, wasn't it? That's
showing your age there.
Yeah.
You all knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
I get you on Yellow Pages to give me a kiss. I need the. I need that.
Yeah.
Get you standing on Yellow Pages so you tower above me even further.
But like in like the 80s, you couldn't imagine people going to see E.T. and at the end of it, not talking about E.T. but talking about, I'm really excited for Close Encounters of Stranger Things. No, they'll be talking about the film. But I caught myself when I came out. I was talking to my sister.
It's a better time.
Oh
Dean.
man, I can't wait for Justice League 2. But instead, we should be talking about the film we just saw.
But we've just established that it wasn't a better time because at the time they were just throwing shit at the wall essentially. Like I think I got very fond memories of films from that kind of period, like Ghostbusters and Batman. Trying to think sort of what else.
George Clooney's Batman.
What else was around sort of late 80s, early 90s? Oh, fucking Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, Critters.
All that kind of thing. There's some really good stuff, but there was also a plethora
Gremlins.
of utter shite films coming out.
Yeah.
Don't forget, this is the kind of era that made action movie stars like Jean-Claude Van Damme and
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, like,
he's got like that fucking Jingle All the Way or whatever it is.
Yeah,
he's got Last Action Hero.
I love that
He's got all
film.
those kind of really shitty early 90s, late 80s.
I mean, what's the other guy?
True Lies.
Steven
Lies was
Seagal,
good.
people like that. Like all of these like movie stars were kind of like made in that period, and it's just churn fucking films out. Like none of them were really that good.
No.
Like, there's the occasional outlier, like you say like Arnie, like him landing in like Terminator. That's an outlier because everything else he has done before and pretty much everything he did after that is fucking shit.
Yeah, and the only reason he was good in that was because he was playing a robot.
Have you seen?
And that's how good his acting was.
Have you seen Hercules in New York? It's like one of his first films.
I've seen clips from it.
I think I have.
Unwatchable.
And from that, someone employed him and put him in as a robot. I guess It's probably good casting as a robot, though.
Oh yeah. Fantastic piece of casting. And I do have a bit of a soft spot for like Jingle All the Way and Kindergarten Cop.
You've got Commando is one of my favourite films of all time.
Oh yeah, Commando
and Total Recall.
Yeah, Total Recall as well.
Predator.
The Running Man.
Okay, Arnie has done some pretty good shit.
Lay off Arnie. Leave Arnie alone.
What's Steven Seagal done recently? Apart from be mental.
Yeah. Try and tell the LAPD how to do their job.
Well, he did train Navy SEALs.
I never was a big fan of Stallone either. Never really.
Whoa.
That's quite good.
I love the Rocky series. Is one of my favourite bunch of films.
Not a huge fan of the fighty films anyway.
And,
Not big on Rocky. Rocky 1 and 2 I don't mind. And I really, really fucking loved Creed. So good. And he's actually really good in that. And Sly has not been good in years.
Where he says he took a photo of it and says, "What if you lose your phone because it's in the cloud?" And then Sly just kind of looks up at the sky like
the cloud.
Haven't seen it yet. And it's like you say, the peer pressure to watch a film. Creed, like, so I don't really like any of the.
And you kind of feel
Rockies.
like you shut out of conversations. Like she's like, "Oh, have you seen blah blah blah?" And
We solved that, didn't we?
Yeah,
we did a little. We did a little quote app so that you can have it listen in a bit like Soundhound or whatever, or what's the other one called?
Oh, Shazam.
And you can have it like listen into the conversation, and you can sort of like watch the clip that's from.
And get up to speed real
and like
quick.
give you a quick
pop culture.
Yeah. Wow, this is a tough one.
It's
very nebulous.
It's a very consuming culture we live in now, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even with products and things like that.
Because when I was thinking about this, I was like, okay, so what do we would just like beam all of these TV shows to a head? But that doesn't solve the problem of not savouring.
We need to go back
art.
to 3 channels of television and one movie coming out a month. That will solve this problem.
The summer blockbuster.
But yeah. It's a side
Oh
effect
my
of-
god, I've got the fucking solution to it.
Go on.
Bang.
Right. Instead of making loads of films every year, right? You could have like one. I said there's like four genres.
Yeah.
Like kind of thing. So you got the crap one, arty, sci-fi, and what was the other one I said?
Melissa McCarthy.
No, that's in the crap one.
All right.
What was the other one I said? Oh god. Oh yeah, you're sort of like your mind benders or something like that. Really like
Your Shyamalans.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
What's he done recently?
Split.
Yeah, you just split.
It was fantastic. Okay.
Do you not like it?
I saw a bit of it. Maddie was watching it.
You can't make a judgment if you watched a bit of it.
Well,
I thought it was really good.
anyway.
Go on, continue.
So just literally be able to produce one of those, one of each per month.
The whole of Hollywood.
Yeah, because the thing is, if you're like really, really into arty type pictures, you're probably not going to watch, fucking Spider-Man, are you?
No.
Like if you're your favorite, if you're like the Oscars judging panel, your favorite film last year was like whatever it was.
If only one of those movies gets made a month, then the chances are something like the 8th Spider-Man remake's not going to get made anyway.
Well, but this is my point.
Go on.
Because there is so much good writing at the moment that we're just being fucking saturated with it, and they just basically, it's like a battle royale.
Like anyone gets through.
This is the first world problem. I am too entertained.
Yeah. So basically, they have to it has to go to judging and stuff like that. Because the thing is, I would be on that panel, right? I'm a comic book fan, same as Dean is, and I love sci-fi movies and things like that, right? I could, if like Batman v Superman, for example, right? I would not mind I would not mind knowing what was going to happen in that film if I was part of 100 people that they sent that script to and said, read through that, rate it for us. Because I've gone through and I said, it's a bit of a turd.
Yeah.
Right? And then that wouldn't have got made, right? And I'd be happier that not getting made and then coming back, rewriting it next month and me going, you know what? That's like a fucking solid 8.5, 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Right? And then having it delayed by 3 months but actually
so you
seeing
think-
a really good film.
So if you think superhero films should be made like the way that we write laws, first you should go through the House of Commons, which is the writers, and then you should go to the nerds, the lords.
Yeah, like there's going to be people who are more passionate about those things. You know, like I mean, I could never claim to be like the biggest sci-fi comic book nerd in the world, but I think I know like what a good like superhero movie should look and be like. Right, so if someone showed me the script and said, you know, give us a rating on this, and it didn't get made if not enough people did it,
then can't remember, I think it might have been Steve Jobs, like giving people products that they never had and never thought they needed, but when they have them, they can't imagine their life without.
Like an Apple Watch.
Yeah.
well, it's going to be a stringent thing, Dean. This isn't just like we're not just throwing these things around willy-nilly. Like it's got to be. You've got to go through like a process here.
It's almost like quality control. Like when you buy a car, it goes through tests before it comes out the factory for your safety.
They do screen tests, but I wonder what
That's after
demographic
Yeah, but they don't throw it
that's
away.
after it's already really been made.
They don't really,
though, isn't it?
even if it doesn't go very well, they don't throw it away, do they?
Because you've got to have like a bit of a dual sort of like area of expertise, because you know not every amazing Hollywood film writer, screenwriter is going to be a comic book fan, for example, and not every comic book fan is going to be an amazing screenwriter.
No.
So you know you have to have like both. You have to prove yourself to get onto this panel.
I saw a thing online, I can't remember his name, the producer at WB who was in charge of Justice League, Suicide Squad, Man of Steel, etc. I can't remember his name, he's some Japanese dude. I was on this Facebook feed, but there's so many fucking shit on it now. But yeah, he is the one who ordered reshoots of Suicide Squad. He's the one who ordered massive cuts to Batman v Superman, so it doesn't really work that well, because the director's cut of Batman v Superman is far superior.
Yeah, it is, but it's
he
also
made
like
them
fucking 5 hours long.
I know, but I'm always the odd one out because I love that film. But he wanted to. I think he wanted to cut out one of the best bits of Man of Steel when he's learned to fly. He wanted to cut that out, and so when you've got a guy who's in charge of these beloved characters, he's not a fan.
Exactly. So like if they you go there and they give you. You go through your process. You say, look, I think I'm a decent, whatever screenwriter, and I'm a big comic book fan. Like, there's going to be a consensus there. If you've got 100 comic book fans in a room and give them all a script for, say, Man of Steel, right? And there's some bits highlighted that they think we might not be able to fit this in. Like, there's going to be, there's going to be 100 people in that room that say you need to show Superman learning to fly.
And smiling more.
And smiling more.
Making
and,
a corny, stupid joke.
I'd rather see more of Superman learning to fly and less of him fishing.
Yeah.
Like, some of that, less of him growing a beard.
He does have a fantastic beard.
Well, he does, yes, but I'm not sure how that's integral to my Superman.
That was the eye candy for the girls, wasn't it? For all the girls that their boyfriends dragged them to the cinema, it was him walking out of the sea, wasn't it?
Well, they're hitting the snooze button on their alarm clock.
That's it. What are you talking about, Dean?
Yeah, what are you talking about? It's not Monday yet.
I lived powers of the future.
Tune in Monday. Find out what Dean's talking about.
Yeah.
Back the curtain.
You've just done it. You've just teased the next episode.
Yeah.
You're as bad as the rest of them.
Spoiler. Yeah, listen at the end and you're going to hear a little snippet.
Here's what I want to see. Like, what you need is Hollywood intranet. Basically, where people get shown these things, and it all goes through like a due process, and then there's only a selection of films. Because the thing is, I see films coming on at the cinema when I go and see trailers. Right, sometimes it's so hit and miss. Sometimes I go and see a film, and there'll be 7 or 8 trailers, and I think 5 or 6 of them look really fucking good. Sometimes I go to the cinema and we just sit there going, how did this get made?
Yeah.
How did
real
it get made?
shit,
The
isn't there, sometimes?
emoji movie.
The Emoji Movie. Like, Like, but the problem is, it's too much of a cash cow for Hollywood, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's so few people left in Hollywood now.
Yeah.
Now that they've all been exposed
Touched up each other
for sexual misconduct. So maybe Hollywood doesn't need to make as much money going forward.
So you're saying the solution of this problem is just to make the product better.
Make the product better and quality over quantity.
Because at the end of Dark Knight Rises, I wasn't thinking, I really hope they make another one. I was just like going over the film and I was thinking, that was interesting when they did that and that and that.
Quality, definitely quality over quantity.
Absolutely.
It's definitely the other way around at the moment. Consume and enjoy.
Because like there are like 4 or 5 new X-Men TV shows or like Marvel TV shows coming out. You've got The Runaways, you've got Gifted, you've got Legion, which is supposed to be very, very good.
Legion was
my sister
enjoyable,
really recommends to me. Cloak and Dagger, which is that they're like yeah.
Well, I mean, I imagine
who's crying out for a Cloak and Dagger?
Like a prime example is like Walking Dead. Like keeps getting pushed to the back for me and Maddie because I think it's a bit of a weak TV show. But really, it should go through if it went through the process, that'd be cancelled now, and that wouldn't be at the back of my mind thinking like, well, when we finish Stranger Things and then we finish watching Punisher, we should catch up on Walking Dead. If it just wasn't there, that's not there for an option because that hasn't passed through the panel.
Yeah.
Because then I wouldn't have got bored of it. Or it would still be good because it would go through that process.
Trial by fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this.
But then someone has to be on the panel, Dan, to, well, not necessarily watch all these films, they won't be getting made at all, but to read them all.
If there was...
But it's only one a month. Like, imagine if you just got sent like...
Yeah, but aren't you saying that you're getting the hundreds a month and then you're whittling it down to one?
Yeah, there would need to be some sort of process there. I guess initially the initial stages would be like pitching a film, wouldn't it? Like you don't go in with like a million-page script. You go in with a one sheet of A4.
Exam process to see whether or not you're a big enough Batman fan. I would do that in a heartbeat.
I would.
No, and the questions would have to be like, what issue of World's Finest did Scarecrow make his first appearance? What 131. What is Killer Moth's real name? Should Batman ever use a gun?
Yeah.
No, Zack Snyder. No.
Should Batman blow the fuck out of people?
Yeah. Should he throw a grenade at a dude? Oh. But that warehouse scene is so good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
I wasn't against the idea of the gun because he was making use of what was around him at the time to win a fight, but
yeah, you shouldn't really be blowing people up though.
No,
run him over in your bloody tank.
Yeah. So
it's things like that would never have got through if there was like the Council of Nerds.
Yeah, someone would have stood straight on. No, slammed the thing on the desk.
Not my Batman.
But you think about these things. Like imagine the amount of people that bitch and whine about movies on the internet, like I didn't like this, or I didn't like how Batman killed people. These things. I don't particularly go on the internet and do it, but I whinge and moan about them, right?
Yeah.
If it went through these people, these things would never happen, right? And then everyone would be getting more like what they want.
But also, some of the best conversations that we've had is picking apart films and saying what we liked, and I think the funner bits of the conversations that we didn't like. Like. Yeah. I know. I think that's a good way. Give me what I'm consuming to be so good that I can't comprehend taking on a new thing because it's just too much. Like I've got to watch it again, or I've got to think about it, or I've got to talk. But
also, if there's only one good TV, because I say like you're not going to be like someone in general. Not everyone is going to be interested in everything. Mm-hmm. Like someone who's watching like an Adam Sandler film is probably not going to be
watching these films.
Is I would say statistically probably not going to be going to the cinema to watch Birdman.
Yeah.
So what you're going to be getting is every month you'll just be getting like a really small spattering of film and TV that you're likely to enjoy.
However, with this system, we would never have got Guardians of the Galaxy.
But do you not think that if like you put a load of die-hard comic book fans in a room and the pitch was really good, they would sign off on that in a heartbeat?
But if they could only have one film coming out,
but you get.
Would you choose Guardians of the Galaxy or would you want Iron Man 3?
You get
the first one.
You get handed like
or Avengers 2.
Yeah, okay. Well, but answer that yourself. Like, if you got handed the synopsis for Guardians of the Galaxy and you got handed the synopsis for Avengers 2,
that is very true.
Which one are you signing off on?
Yeah.
If I got handed,
I'd say don't make Avengers 2. Make a better Avengers 2 and just give us this for now.
Yeah. If I got handed Batman v Superman and Guardians of the Galaxy, I might not have any idea who the Guardians of the Galaxy are. I'm going to sign off on that because clearly the script was better. I think we solved it.
I agree.
Hear that, Hollywood?
It's just a cricket.
Yeah. Here are asthmatic nerdy raw.
Yeah.
Bake it better.
Well, I have a feeling that's who Hollywood's going to be taken over by soon.
Yeah.
That'd be better.
It probably would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Less touching girls because they're scared of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a nation of hover hands.
Yeah. Calling it so. Let's name it then.
Yeah. Well, I was like, unless anyone else has got an idea, I've got a thing. I'll wait because it's been in my head for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I completely forgot about it.
You don't want to throw it out there?
Yeah. IMDeanB.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that one.
Because Dean's here. And the IMDb.
Sticky leaks.
Sticky leaks. Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah. I don't think you're going to get better than that.
I like IMDb, Dean B. I call my sister a human IMDb because she's freaky. You'd be like, oh, who's that? I'd be like, oh, who's that woman who was in that film with that dog?
Gerard Depardieu, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought he was in Leon.
You mean Owen Wilson?
Yeah. And
on the way here, he was like, I'm 80% sure Gerard Depardieu was in Leon. And I was like, I'm 80% sure it wasn't him in that.
Yeah, it turns out it was Sean Reno. I thought John Reno's name was Gerard Depardieu. And then I Googled Gerard Depardieu and I was like, I've barely seen him in anything. Where have I got this? Because it's such a weird name. You remember it?
He's been in
It's
a lot
like,
of
it's like the
French
Frenchest
rom-coms.
name.
He's like a French rom-com
He might as well be
guy.
called like Jean Baguette.
Jean-Paul Baguette.
But yeah, like I'll ask that my sister, and you can always hear like that. That was.
Is she on dial-up still, is she?
Yeah.
So the episode is called I Am Dean Bean. No,
IMDb.
DB. I can't say it without saying Bean at the end of it.
IMDb.
Even when you said it earlier, I could swear I heard Bean.
IMDb.
Yeah. Right. That's right. Typed it will be fine. Said difficult. Get in touch with us on our usual platform, which is stickitpod.com. It's one website. It is your hub for everything. You can send us a problem from there. You can send us photographs. You can send us a link to a news story if you want us to cover it in the news. Any corrections, which I'm sure from that episode about all the movies, there are going to be many.
Probably.
I'm terrified I got that Scarecrow's first appearance wrong because I think it might be issue 199, 131.
No take back.
You're going to have to correct yourself next week.
Yeah,
aren't
I'm
you?
going to get kicked out of the Nerdy Council.
Yeah, and you might not be here next week to get the full brunt of the listenership. But everything is on stickitpod.com. That is all you need, really, to get in touch with us and to look at all of our old podcasts and, go back to the past and start at number 1, which we listened to recently, and it's difficult.
It is difficult.
Difficult listening.
Yeah, start at about 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Start when the hand feet came in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we live in a post-hand feet world now.
I bet even hand feet is a little bit cringy listening.
Probably. I'll have a listen sometime.
At least we didn't have a scripted openings at that point.
Yeah. I think we gave up on the scripted openings a couple of episodes in, didn't we?
I don't think we did anything after number 1, did we?
No, I don't think so.
No. Well, for this week, I have been Ross.
I've been Dan.
I've been Dean.